So despite some rain and iffy weather, I finally got a chance to fly my new harness. It's the Advance Boundless. It's a reversible harness, but in a different way, and it has that rigid seat board, which is something I really wanted to try. But as soon as I got in the air, I actually had to turn around because my speed bar was too tight. I thought I had it adjusted correctly, but as you can see here, it kind of wrapped around my leg. So not an emergency, but really not a good way to fly, especially if the winds really came up. So back to landing, we'll figure things out, straighten it out, and then we'll get back in the air. So I did loosen up the speed bar a bit. I'll have to do a little bit more adjustment on it. One of the reasons I wanted to come to Torrey is just because of something like this. If I needed to do an adjustment, I can top land, do what I need to do, and then just get right back in the air. As you can see here, a little bit of a difference of how it's arranged from the Progress 3. And I'll try to show some differences because the Progress 3 is probably the closest thing to this particular harness. So my first impressions right off the bat is one, it's really easy to launch and get back into that seat. No problems running for the launch. Didn't feel that seat board just banging away at me. So really quite nice and quite comfortable. And after a few turns, I really enjoy the weight shift on this as compared to the Progress 3. That's the one thing I was really looking forward to, and it is not disappointing. I just shifted to one side, gave it a second, pulled a turn, and it came right over. Really, really nice. And again, this was the big reason for wanting to try this harness. Again, this is a non-traditional reversible harness, and I thought I would show this from the Advance website. So first you're in the backpack or rucksack position, and then you're going to fold everything up, place that right where the protector portion is of the harness, and that adds some additional protection. Now you're in the harness position. From here, you just reverse the process. Just remove the tucked in backpack and fold in the harness. And in this short clip, you can see the added protection that that rucksack or backpack adds to the harness. For me, I feel that the harness gives a lot more feedback to what's going on with the wing, and in a really nice way. But you can see a little bit here the differences between the Progress 3 and the new Boundless harness. I know it's hard to tell, but you immediately have more feedback coming from the wing, and the weight shift is significantly better. So again, really nice positives that I'm taking away from this harness on my first flight. And here I'm just shifting back and forth, and it really is nice. It is quite different than the Progress 3, and I really got a kick out of it. I've done this in the Progress 3, but the split leg arrangement didn't allow me to have this much movement, so it's really quite nice. Another nice feature is that you can actually fly without the rucksack or backpack. I don't quite know what the right term is, but you can see here that it's very easily removed. You still have the protection and you still can use your reserve, so you're not limiting that. You're just limiting the backpack portion. Say you had a hike out, you probably want to keep this, but if you wanted things lighter, well, there you go. And the landing was also super easy, a non-event. I wasn't even thinking about it. I got out of that harness so easily, just stepped forward in a very easy landing. So again, very different than the very first harness I had way back when with that big seatboard trying to get in and out. What an improvement. Really loved it. This turned out to be just a super nice day. It was getting more and more crowded, but after this landing, I actually went up again. It was just too nice of a day to call it quits. And the only reason I call it quits is just because it gets really, really crowded out there. And after about an hour or two, looking around, it just gets tedious. But again, super fun. This is after I've landed. You can see all the pilots out there. And there were more people arriving because it really was going to probably be good for at least another hour or two. The good news is that since it was so nice, you could get away from the launch site or that vicinity. You can go as far north as you're allowed to, as well as to the south. So you could stay away from all the traffic, but eventually you got to land and find your opening. So this is the Advance Boundless Reversible Harness with a seatboard. It's not the traditional reversible, but very nice. And again, I love Advance products. They're always great. I don't think I'm going back to the leg straps. I really like the weight shift on this. It's just exactly what I'm looking for. It's about the same weight, and you could fly without that backpack portion if you wanted to, and save some more weight. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. For right now, this will be the Hike to Fly harness that I will be using. Take care, fly safe.